If you've been sleeping on Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, here's what's up. You might recognise Phil's name as the guitarist for the mighty Motorhead. After the death of iconic frontman Lemmy in 2015, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons emerged, comprised of Phil's actual sons, Todd, Dane and Tyla. Originally with Neil Starr on vocal duties, they now have Joel Peters as their singer and a permanent member, and they've just released their third studio album, Kings of the Asylum. I'm Ez, and today on the Heavy Podcast I will be speaking with Todd Campbell about the new album and what it's like to be a part of Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. Check it out. Hi Todd, welcome to the Heavy Podcast. How is your Friday treating you?
Really good. We played our album release show last night in a club in the Welsh Valleys. So it went really well. So I'm on a bit of a high this morning from that.
How long does the performance dopamine normally last for you before you start?
It's a nightmare trying to get to sleep normally. That's always a problem. You're like, oh, like 2 a.m, like, well, can I just switch off now, sort of thing. But yeah, I've and then I don't know. We're gonna go to me and my little dog going to the beach this weekend. So I think I'm just gonna carry her on through, sort of thing. Try and continue the dopamine.
Yeah,
thing.
Good vibes.
Yeah.
The album's been out for, is it just 6 days now?
I guess today's the week, I guess.
Yeah.
Friday. Yeah, 7 days today. Yeah.
So whereabouts was the launch show?
In a club called the Patriot in a town called Crumlin. It's just we went to see Sherry Curry from the Runaways there a few months ago. And
yeah,
it's like
sweet.
and like Phil's friends were there and we sort of like hung out and stuff. And we just thought it'd be really cool to like play a venue we've never played, just fill it out, sort of thing. And I think they're like a community based venue as well, sort of thing. So it's run for the community. So yeah, it's kind of cool to kind of do that and have a warm up show play some new songs we've never played before. It's always a bit nerve-wracking sometimes doing that.
Yeah. So everyone last night was essentially guinea pigs to a degree.
Yeah, we didn't tell them that, but yeah.
I know, you never do. But
No.
Well, we've got you on board tonight to give us the lowdown on your band, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, of which you are one of said Bastard Sons, right?
That's me.
More specifically, the Bastard Son in charge of guitar.
Yeah.
And yeah, like we said, you've just released an album, which we'll get into, but would you first mind giving the listeners a quick rundown on the band, just for anyone who might be slightly behind the 8 ball on who you guys are and what you're about?
Yeah, well, I guess Phil was obviously the guitarist of like Motorhead for a long time. And and we used to jam with, even from like really young, when he'd come home, he'd play pubs with his mates and like we'd go up on stage and jam, sort of thing, like me and my 2 other brothers, Dane and Tyla. And then a few years, I guess, before Lemmy passed, we started playing, still doing like covers more seriously though, as like a party band sort of thing, like doing little mini tours, like we were called like the All-Star Band at that point. And then we just slowly morphed into like the Bastard Sons doing original material. And like it's just like a good outlet for Phil now that he doesn't have Motorheads, and we do it as a family thing. And like we're really busy. We play all the festivals in Europe and things, and like we're on Nuclear Blast. It's gone like way further than we ever imagined, to be honest, sort of thing. But we're just riding the vibe, I guess, and enjoying ourselves and just trying to make the best music we can, sort of thing.
So you never set out to sort of conquer the world. It was more about just making music for the joy of it, but organically it's sort of built up. And it's
like a family business sort of thing now that we're all part of. It's like, when did this happen?
I wanted to ask about that, and I wasn't sure whether I should excuse myself for using the term a family band.
No, it's cool. Yeah.
But how does it go? Do you find that it makes things easier, or is it more chaotic, or does that just depend on the day?
Yeah, it definitely depends on the day. I mean, it's like going on a family holiday, like every week, every day, like those crazy family holidays. Like every festival is like one of those sort of thing. But I think actually, I've mentioned this loads of times, but I think like you kind of air your grievances quicker because it's your family than like I've been in lots of bands and like if there's like an issue, sometimes you won't bring it up perhaps. And then 3 weeks later, it blows up into some sort of mess. But like if it's your family and like say say I played shit or someone played, and you'd be like, oh, you were crap tonight. And they're like, well, you were crap as well. And then you're like, next day you just carry on with it. Do you know what I mean? You have your little tiffs, but like, I think from the outside, people looking in is like, what's going on here? But it's just like, brothers having a little brotherly row or whatever. And then the next day you just move on. Just like,
Yes. So effectively,
Yeah.
it sounds like it would make things easier then.
Yeah, I think it might not look like that sometimes if you're on the outside, but yeah, it's just so it's all good. We're all
Functional chaos.
yeah, yeah.
So obviously, after 30-something years of a career in Motorhead, your dad Phil is a veteran of the industry, and so I imagine that makes him a wealth of knowledge and a really handy person to have, to be in a band with. And he's got tons of experience under his belt and connections and whatnot. But what are some of the things that the Bastard Sons have had to school him on?
Ooh, I don't know. Play in smaller venues again. You're playing clubs now.
Bring him down a peg or two.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we got to fly EasyJet this weekend. There's no first class anymore.
You haven't had to teach him how to use TikTok or anything like that.
Oh no, we do a bit of Facebook and a bit of Instagram. We haven't quite gone over to the TikTok generation yet, I think. So we're all right. Yeah, he doesn't we do little videos. I don't think any of us feel that comfortable doing videos, but it's like you have to do it nowadays, and you sort of thing. Yeah.
It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess little things like that. I mean, he's pretty down to earth guy, like my dad. He's not like, I saying this to someone else, like people think like we're like the Osbournes or something crazy like that. Do you know what I mean? But we just live in a little like valleys town in South Wales sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? And like, apart from the band, like I think the rest of it is normal-ish, I guess. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just fun. Yeah, he just chills in the dressing room. Do you have pot noodles? Like we just eat pot noodles and watch TV and just like whatever. It's not like sex, drugs, and rock and roll with us. It's just, it's pretty basic.
Pot noodles, rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I was formulating my list of questions for you tonight, my husband was like, "You got to ask, what was it like being the son of someone who is in a band with God?" I'm like, I don't know if I can get away with that question. I'll have to suss it out, but I feel like I can get away with that question.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, no, it's cool. I mean, when I was really young, I think I used to go and see him play when I was really young, but I don't think I quite understood it. And then you're like, all my friends, like dads are like home all the time, and then my dad's like away. What's going on? Like, I'm like 5 or 6, don't quite understand it. But then as I got a bit older, I think, me and my friends got into rock music, and then all of a sudden, like we're Nirvana fans, and then all of a sudden Dave Grohl does that Probot song with Lemmy, and you're like, you get the crossover, do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden Motorhead do like WrestleMania, and I was into wrestling as like, like my dad's playing WrestleMania with like what's going on? And then it's like, oh, this is really cool actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The penny drops and you realize what you're involved with.
Yeah. And like I don't take any of it for granted. We were like super lucky. Like I said, we live like normal sort of lives, but then we did have super cool opportunities to like go to really cool gigs and things like that. So it's just been there's tough times. We spent a long time with your dad on the road sort of thing and away from home, but then we're still lucky that we've enjoyed this life we enjoy sort of thing. So it's a hard question to ask because I can't really, I've got nothing else to like go balance. It's just the way we've grown up sort of thing. I don't really know any other.
It's your normal. So
yeah. I don't think it's probably like I said, I think people think we like the Osbournes or whatever, but it's just like nothing like that. I hope not.
Yeah, that's next level, but
yeah, exactly. It's nothing. Yeah.
So tell me about the new album then, which is titled Kings of the Asylum. Yeah. What can listeners expect from this record?
I think everyone thinks it's hard because you just try and make the best album you can make, and then you put it out and hope for the best. It's like, I think it's a little heavier. It's a little more like kind of like more. I think our last few albums, just the sounds kind of like jumped, not genre to genre because it's all like guitar music, but sort of like. But I think this one is feels like we've made a body of work, sort of. Do you know what I mean? We've made like an album more than just a collection of songs. So it's gone down really well with the fan base, and like people seem. It's our first one with Joel on vocals, a new vocalist. So that's been
Yes.
like a new thing for everyone to check out, and I'm just really pleased with it. Once again, you're so close. It's hard. You've just got to let other people decide what they think. Do you know what I mean? We work really hard, and then just it's out for everyone else to decide. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once something's released, I think it sort of doesn't. It becomes other people's property. Then, like you
Yeah.
create it and you birth it and you put it out in the world, and
Yeah.
then it's sort of up to the people.
Yeah.
But how have you found the reception to Joel's inclusion in the band? Then
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
changing vocalists can really alter the sound of a band more so than
Yeah.
other instruments. And yeah, so it's always interesting to see how that will be received by fans.
Yeah. I think like with us, obviously, we've sort of like grown up. Like I guess most bands, you like, you're not known or your album's not out while you're still becoming a band. So maybe like members
Yes.
change, but sort of we kind of been doing that, but slightly more publicly, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. Do you know what I mean? Because we're sort of like a work in progress, but like sort of while everyone's coming to shows and listening to albums, sort of thing. But yeah, it just felt really natural with Joel. The fans have really taken to him and everything, and full steam ahead. Basically, I can't say much more,
Yeah.
much more than that.
And
Yeah,
his vocal style really suits the music.
yeah, yeah. It's great. First time he sent us like a demo over, and I was like, yeah, that's the guy. He sounds
Yeah.
great.
That's always a nice
Yeah.
feeling. So what sort of approach do you guys take to songwriting? Is there like one main person that sort of sits in the driver's seat, or is it a combined effort?
Um, I produced I've produced the last two albums, so the boys would probably say I'm like the driving seat, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I think this most recent album is the one we've most like collect. I think that before I'd have like a lot of songs prepared and then we'd work on them, but this is the first time we sort of were more in the room. Let's just write and go. So we sort of wrote and recorded on a week by week basis, which we've never done before. So like we'd write a song or two on a Monday, and then we just start recording it Tuesday, and then the drums, and then Wednesday we do the guitars, and Thursday, and then we'd have like two or three songs then, and then the Monday we'd start again, like sort of, and we did that for about 5 or 6 weeks.
Mm,
And we've never done it like that before, actually, which is kind of cool. Normally we just like, rehearsed, and then, oh, here's our 10 songs, go into the studio and bash it out.
yeah.
So it was more, we could feel the album building, and like we could kind of, do we need this kind of song? Do we need that kind of song? So I think it was really good. I would definitely do it that way again, I think, if we get the choice,
It sounds super productive.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's cool because you can like you bounce in because you got a weekend off, you've got new fresh songs, and you go in again. Do you know what I mean? It was just sort of just kept rolling once we were on a roll, basically. Yeah,
Did you find as well that it helped you not settle so much, but like not feel as inclined to tinker with songs to the point
yeah,
of headaches? Because
yes. Well, I think Phil is obviously with Motorhead. It was quite an instinctual thing. Once they were like, I think they would never like over analyze a song or if it felt good and you're jamming it, just put it to tape and get it down. Do you know what I mean? So I
yeah.
think kind of took that sort of, especially because we were literally writing and then recording during the next day.
Mm,
I'd listen to it super rough in the house, and then the next morning if I have a little tweak, we'd try it, and then we would just put it down, and then the odd structure with Pro Tools or wherever you can move things around a little
yeah.
bit. But I don't think we did a lot of that really, and yeah, I really like working that way this time around. I think it's really made a difference for us.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm in a
Mm.
band myself, and I like
Oh,
we've
cool.
had some songs that we spent. I'm not even joking, 2 years writing one song,
Yeah.
and just like like we just have to put it on the shelf and then come back to it again,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
they've all turned out to be worth sticking with. But
Yeah.
I love that idea that you go in and
Yeah.
sort of just
It-
not bash it out, but you've got this structured. The formula is there, and
It's rock and roll, isn't it? Like, you know,
yeah,
everyone has their own process. If it takes 2 years, and that's cool if it takes 2 years. But like, we're just, how different will we make it if we keep changing? We're just playing riffs and just
yeah.
trying to capture a bit of energy and just going from there for us.
That's
like
right. And sometimes you can give yourself a bit of choice paralysis if you overthink it. So
yeah.
Having said that, we've definitely written songs in like an afternoon. we're not not that useless that it takes 2 years for every song we write. Just for the record. What sort of themes are explored lyrically on this album?
Yeah, like obviously, like Joel's the lyric writer, but I think "Kings of the Asylum" was a song he like penned quite early with the title. I think we would so like in our breaks recording, we would like put on the news, and like in the UK, it's still terrible now, but it was all that kind of like Boris Johnson stuff was in the news all the time,
Yes.
and like I think Phil would come up with like quite funny like working titles, and we'd send them to Joel, and they'd be a bit like taking the Michael out of the government or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think Joel wrote Kings of the Asylum around that. And then when he sent it back, it's like, oh, that's a great album title. So I think from there we had sort of like, it's not a concept album, but just a theme for the album. And I think, the Asylum, like that song is probably more based about the country being an asylum and how it's run. But like, I think there's other songs where the asylum is like your mind more sort of. Do you know what I mean? It's like the asylum's like a metaphor for a few things in the album.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Probably a bit deep for a rock band, but like it's subtly in there. But if you go like, I think Walking in Circles, the first track is like kind of losing your mind, and then Too Much Is Never Enough second track is like excess on the road.
Yes.
And then it goes up and down in waves like that sort of thing. So it's kind of a theme in there if you like look deeply into a loose theme.
Yeah, no, I like that. Actually, I usually leave my my fun, silly question till the end, but I'm going to ask it now just because you're talking about the album, and I structured my question on the album title, Kings of the Asylum, and I couldn't help but be conjured up like images of Randall McMurphy in the film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Now, I don't know if you've seen it.
I've not seen that film. No, I love cinema, but I've not seen
It's
that
a classic.
film.
You have to see it.
Okay, yeah.
If you're even just loosely familiar with the concept, it is a man that ends up in a lunatic asylum. The movie was made in the 70s, I think, so it's an old film. Jack Nicholson plays the main character.
Oh, I've got to see it then. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite films. But yeah, he ends up there. He's not insane, but I won't give you too many spoilers, but it made me think of that. And my question was, what would you guys do to end up in an asylum, and who in the band is most likely to wisecrack his way into getting lobotomized?
Oh my God, what a question.
I love throwing these curly ones.
Joe, my dad in his crazy days easily could end up in an asylum. He probably has and hasn't told me about it. You never know.
Well, the time frame as well, when they were still the asylums were still running.
Oh man, when people show up at our gigs and we haven't seen them before, and they're like, "Oh, I've got a story to tell you," and we're like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to know this story." Me and Dad look at each other like, "Oh," but I guess, I'll pin Phil for all of those answers.
Sure.
100%.
That sounds entirely fair, I think. So you guys have been super busy with your summer festival circuit over your way recently, and you've played some huge festivals. How was that experience?
Oh, I mean, it was been the last two, the summer before, so not this summer, summer before was like all your bookings, like from 3 like cancelled COVID summers just in one almost.
Yes.
So last summer was just absolutely crazy. And then we thought it would calm down this summer, but it hasn't, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we do like, Motorhead sets occasionally as well, which is because sometimes, summer festivals, guys drinking beers, they just want to hear sometimes the songs they know and just have a good time. So like we fit that in the summer, and I think people react well to it. And then when we do our own tours, it's more our own material and things. So yeah, it's been really good, really busy. There's just loads of like flights and things. Like last summer was crazy as well because it was like COVID had just come, so everyone was just going on holidays
Yes.
all over Europe, and like I don't think the aviation industry had really got back on its feet last summer. So like we'd be in like Amsterdam airport for like 3 hour queues and things just for security and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
you're like, are we even going to make this gig? Sort of thing. All that
Oh,
kind of stuff.
no pressure
Yeah.
or anything. Which
Yeah.
festival has been the highlight for you?
Oh, I don't know. I just the bigger the better. I'm
Yes.
just up for it. As soon as I just see like a massive crowd, I'm like, yeah, let's just do this. We've done this summer we did 2 supporting Guns N' Roses,
Yeah,
and
yeah, I
like
saw that.
the first one was just, well, no, they're both. I just love it. Yeah, the bigger the crowds, just the better it is for me. I'm just like, if I can run around and wherever, I'm up for this. So, and I love small shows as well, but like I don't get intimidated by the big ones. I'm just whatever. I just enjoy them all, to be honest.
Yeah, and festival
Yeah,
crowds are a vibe of their own, aren't they? Like,
yeah,
especially summertime, and everyone's riding the
yeah,
good vibe wave.
yeah,
Describe for me what behind the scenes at a festival is like for you, because obviously festival sets are typically fairly short.
yeah.
So what do you guys get up to either side
Oh, I'd love to tell you
of your
like
set?
exciting stuff, but we still like
Just make something up.
we like work because we still like we'll be on our hands and knees like taping cables down, and this is weird for us because like we got like a small crew, but we still like get involved and we do our own line checks, and then we go backstage and then we put our jackets on and you have to like walk out like you were never on. You know, like most bands just walk out and they're
Yeah.
like, yeah. It's like we were literally here 10 minutes ago, just like one, two, check, kind of thing. I just put my hat on backwards. Oh, flowy. So like, yeah, for us it's just like my brother's taking the merch to the merch stall and we're just on the phone trying to arrange things because like, yeah, that's what it's like for us. It's just chaos for us. And then normally it's back in the van to an airport to another one.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid, and I'm the photographer for the band as well, and I'm taking photos, and everyone's just like tired. Stop taking photos of me now.
I completely understand you. I'm that person as well. waving the camera in everyone's face.
Yeah,
And
they don't say that. Yeah, they don't
you can
say
tell.
stop
Yeah.
taking photos, but you can tell. It's like, yeah, it's like, come on now.
But I think a lot of people are quite unaware of how much most bands do themselves.
Yeah, oh, especially nowadays. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're not. It's not like the curtain drops.
You have to hit a really high level to like not have to do anything apart from play your instrument.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And wouldn't we?
yeah.
I don't know if I'd want that either because I quite like the hands-on aspect of.
Oh, I don't know, a little taste of it, I reckon.
Well, yeah, maybe a little bit of pressure off, or have some lackeys just to jump in when you need them or something. That would be good.
Yeah.
Well, that's coming from someone who's never going to reach those heights. So I suppose
Don't say that.
I'm in denial and just go, no, I like it this way.
You never know. You don't know what's going to happen in this world. You never know.
Well, very, very true.
Yeah.
So what further plans have you got for touring this new album? Is Australia on the cards?
It's a tough one. We do get a few offers, but it's quite far for us, I think. I think if we ever get like need like a festival to sort of a good festival offer we could do something on. So I'd love to come to Australia and then like Japan and things. We've never done it. Like Phil's done it, but as a band we've never done it. So we always would love to do it, but obviously with the expense, we need sort of the right offer. And like we get messages all the time when you come into Australia. It's really frustrating. And obviously, I assume everyone loves their rock and roll still in Australia. I hope.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it'd be great to do it. Hopefully one day we'll do it, but it's not booked in at the moment. It's just such a shame.
It's the price we pay for being at the asshole end of the world. That's
well, we're up the other end.
Well, where are you touring in the immediate future?
So yeah, in I think it's like 12 days time, we're going to Europe for about 3 weeks, and then we're home for like a month, and then we're doing a UK tour, and then I'm not sure after that. I think probably start writing again next year in festival season and do it all again, I would have thought, but see what comes in. Not sure yet.
I'm going to ask you a really cliched question, but do you have a preference for writing, recording, or performing?
It's a good question. Studio's really good when the riffs start coming together. It is a nice feeling, and then obviously you get to just go home as well instead of like being away from home. So yeah, I think everything like is like a cycle in it. You can't have one without. Like we couldn't keep touring and not release music, and then we couldn't release music and never tour it. I think people would get tired of that, So I think you need a balance of both, really. I enjoy all of it. I enjoy it with my photography. I enjoy traveling and taking photos and things. So yeah, sorry, I gave you a bit of a on the fence answer to that one.
No. I gave you a cliched question, so it's fair. So obviously, your dad was famously part of Motorhead, but what were you doing before you were part of the Bastard Sons? I mean, you were obviously a bastard son, but
yeah. Well, none of us are bastard sons. Mum and Dad live up the road, sort of thing. We're all like,
stop! Don't ruin the illusion.
We're brothers to the same mother, as we like to say.
Bastards by nature and not by lineage.
Yeah. I've run a recording studio since like my mid-20s, sort of thing. So that was always my main sort of job. And now I just balance the two. It's really good, actually, because I can tour and then come home and work with like local bands I work with mainly and things like that.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and then we used to have a band, me and Dane, my brother, the drummer, we were in another band called Straight Lines. We used to do a lot of like touring in the UK and stuff, things like that. So, we're always involved with that sort of thing. And things just sort of evolved and moved and then we ended up being in the Bastards pretty much. Yeah.
Smashing through all the European festivals.
Trying our best, yeah.
Yeah. Living the dream.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there.
No, that's awesome. Well, I've just received the little notification that our time is running out. So, and you've probably got another interview to get on to.
I do have another one coming up, but what's the time now? Is it like...
Oh, don't ask me what the time is because it's 8:00 at night here. So, so that's going to throw you right out.
Yeah. Oh, shit. It was a long interview. Oh, wicked. Hope that was okay anyway, and it made sense.
No, it was brilliant. No, I love someone I can banter with. I was listening to, because I only got thrown this assignment 24 hours ago, and so I was listening to the album this morning while I was cleaning my house, and yeah, I love it. It's super good.
Probably a good one for cleaning, I would have thought. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it done probably in half the time that I would have.
Yeah, amazing. We'll put that on the sticker next time on the front of the CD.
Music to clean to.
Yeah.
That could be the title of your next album.
Oh my God. You never know. You literally never know. Oh, great.
Alrighty, well, I'll let you get on to your next one. Thank you so much for giving me your time, and all the best with the album and its success and your upcoming tour.
Oh, thank you. Hopefully we'll be over to Australia one day. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So.
Take care, Todd. Thank you.
Nice to meet you anyway. Bye-bye.
Make sure you check out Kings of the Asylum, the latest album by Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. It's out now and it's nothing short of classic, badass, raw rock and roll energy. You've been listening to the Heavy Podcast. Make sure you follow us to stay connected with us and be the first to hear all the latest heavy music, news, reviews, and interviews. Peace out, homies, and remember to keep life heavy.